Festival of Creativity, and 7 top advertising industry executives based in South Africa have been selected to judge. A list of local talent was announced of individuals who will be making decisions and, of course, rewarding the cream of the creative crop in the south of France from the 18th to the 22nd of June. They are, of course, valued for their vision and will examine exciting new trends and innovations that will ultimately decide the winning entries. Well, we are joined by one of the 7 judges representing South Africa, Jason Xenopolous. He is the Chief Creative Officer at Native VML, to share more. Very good morning to you, Jason, and thank you so much for coming to Morning Live.
Morning. Thanks very much for having me.
Jason, of course, this is a huge deal, but in your terms, what does this SA-Can deal entail for, the creative space and, of course, on a broader perspective for South Africa?
Well, I think Cannes Lions is a pretty unique showcase of creativity. It really is the sort of definitive global stage, if you like, of all things creative. It was born as an advertising festival, but over the years it has evolved into much more than that. It really is a showcase of creativity as it extends from advertising through to innovation and other areas as well. So for South Africa to be represented on those juries is a wonderful privilege and a wonderful honor, but it also gives us as judges the opportunity to inform the other jury members about some of the kind of cultural nuances and context that applies to the South African work that has been entered. So it really gives us an opportunity to put our work in the best light.
And so, Jason, as one of the judges, won't you take us into the process and how it unfolds and how deeply your involvement goes?
So fortunately, I was lucky enough to judge Cannes Lions last year as well. So I have had experience of this process. Every category is a little different, but generally what will happen with most categories is, as a judge, there will be a pre-judging phase. So you will be sent a whole bunch of entries to review online. It could be several hundred, it could be even more than that. And in the weeks or month leading up to Cannes, you will be expected to review all of that work online and vote either in or out. Do you think it should be part of the shortlist? Do you not? And then it comes to the actual Cannes Lions week, and all of the judges will fly over to Cannes in the south of France, and you will be locked up in a dark room from morning till night with your fellow jury members, and you will watch the work again, and then you will debate it vigorously, trying to decide and distill what makes the very best work in that category in that year. And because you have such a rich group of people from around the world with such different and relevant experience, it becomes like a masterclass in creativity. You really come out of it having learned an enormous amount. So it's a wonderful privilege for anyone.
I like the fact that you refer to it as a masterclass. What are some of the benefits, or how have you personally grown as a creative, having been exposed to just so many different art forms, and your worldview obviously being expanded through the world of art? Has it changed your perspective in how you see art and how you value art at all?
So it is all of those things that you just said. I think that one of the great opportunities is just to spend that much time looking at work and talking about work. Most of us don't have the time in our busy lives to immerse ourselves for, a week, 12 hours a day, doing nothing but watching or looking at or discussing one piece of great creativity after the next. So that focused experience alone is massively educational. But more importantly than that, I think every year the work that emerges takes the communications industry forward. And if you approach the experience with an open mind, the work can really guide you. The work can inform you of where the industry is going. So I think really it's about coming to this without too many preconceptions, really coming to the table with an open mind and letting the best work in the world shine a light on where the future of our industry is going.
And just looking to the future, Jason, obviously we look at South Africa as a country and the strides we've made in industries such as advertising, film, art and so forth. But what more can we still do to continue to promote and foster creative arts?
Well, I think there's a lot. I think that South Africa and the African continent as a whole is undergoing an incredible cultural renaissance. I think after decades and centuries of sort of cultural oppression, if you like, South Africa and Africa have really begun to embrace a kind of an authentic voice and identity in the creative arts. So it's always been here, but we're now starting to see it emerge through commercial creativity as well. And I think we just need to keep supporting that, and we need to keep giving that voice, and we need to keep pushing our stories and our vision, because there is no doubt that it is lighting fires around the world. So I think that this is an incredibly exciting place to be right now. And when I look around the world, I see more vibrant creativity emerging from South Africa and from this continent than anywhere else on the planet, to be honest.
Jason, it's been such a pleasure chatting to you. Thank you so much for your time this morning and all the best. And that was the Cannes Lions International Festival of Creativity, where the most established and coveted awards for the creative and marketing communications industry are showcased. Well, the event is a stage to celebrate, honor, inspire, grow, educate and claim the victory. And that, of course, was Jason Xenopolous. Time for us to take a quick break. Do stay with us.
News at 9. We go beyond the headlines of the day and breaking news to bring you all the angles and in-depth analysis of stories that impact your life. We are on the ball with all economic stories. Our bureaus around the globe are ready to connect you to events as and when they happen. So join us every day at 9 to zoom in on the day's big stories.
Our stories.
How do I begin?
Our lives. When all seems to fail, we will raise our voices a bit louder for our justice.
I went into absolute shock. My whole body was shaky. I couldn't hold a phone, but there he was. I couldn't believe the nonchalant that they were still in the area 2 weeks later.
And in times when the justice system is not able to help us with our individual battles,
I'm willing to do anything. What are you doing? Nothing. Feeling sorry for yourself? No, it's not an option.
These are our stories on Cutting Edge Channel 404.
Corruption both in the public and the private sectors needs to be combated.
Where there are clear cases of wrong that has been done, that must commence immediately.
Something is being done about corruption in our country.
Currency, even although it's strengthened dramatically after the ANC's recent elective conference, could conceivably go stronger yet.
He had a soul that would not be for sale.
Stay tuned to Your World for your final news roundup, Monday to Sunday at 21:30.
Shervin Bryceby's SABC News, New York.
Paul Barber, SABC News, London.
Tebu Mokobo, SABC Ufa Kochamono, Russia.
Neha Punya, SABC News, Saharanpur in Uttar Pradesh in India.
Other than that, I've enjoyed every single moment of it.
SABC News, Soweto, Johannesburg.
SABC is the official broadcaster of the 2018 FIFA World Cup Russia.